That's good. Right, go live. Going live. Woot. I think we are live. Woot. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome back to Satisfactory. This is a game about building factories, and the past few days I haven't been particularly, up and at 'em for doing streams, so I just kind of continued on building, and what you might see is a sea of red lights, because today I've really got to sort out the power grid. I've built some coal generators, but as you can see, only one of them is currently running. We'll go and see that and sort that one out in a second. I was kind of halfway doing it, and then I thought, actually, the thing to do is to stream this, because I don't want people to feel bad for having these like bodged in setups. We all do it. We kind of bodge a system in, and it kind of gets a bit of a mess. And I want to show you quite how you can make your systems cleaner using the tools available. An awful lot of people are coming from Factorio and trying to do Factorio type of things in Satisfactory, and it's not working. People like doing main lines and all that, and it just doesn't work. We'll get to that in a moment, but first I need to preface this video with something kind of important. I have noticed an uptick of comments on my videos of, do you want to be friends, or I've subbed to you, do you want to sub back? Now I had to do a bit of research into this, and it turns out there's this thing called sub for sub on YouTube. The idea being that, and I should note, this is actually against the YouTube's terms of service. It's a way of growing a channel by presumably targeting smaller YouTubers like myself. I've said many a time, I don't care about subs. If you want to sub, then great. But yeah, but I want real subs. I don't want these sort of fake subs. And that's pretty much what this is. It doesn't grow your channel in any meaningful way. All that it does is it gains you the number of 200,000 subs, but you've got no videos, and really your YouTube channel isn't really doing anything. You're just doing this, hey, if you sub to me, I'll sub to you. I've even seen one it was technically last week now, where somebody said, I've subbed to you, do you want to sub to me? He hadn't subbed to me. Even if he had, I wouldn't care, because it's not really a thing. So yeah, so if you're involved in this sort of sub for sub thing, and you think that that because I've got about 200 subs, then I'm going to fall for it, don't bother. I know your game, and ultimately I will just, well, if it becomes too much of a problem, I'll just turn the comments off, quite frankly. But yeah, ultimately, I'm and certainly if I get a load of it, anybody that posts that sort of stuff in my comment section, I'll just flag it as spam, or just turn the comments off if absolutely needs be. But I don't really want to do that, because quite frankly, people do post some interesting comments from time to time on my videos, and it's all useful stuff ultimately. So yeah, anyway, that's that out of the way. Let's dive into the actual streamingness of the video. Right, so yeah, all the power's shut down because although I've got the coal generators in, they're not currently running. This is obviously it's currently a problem. The other thing is I've built up an iron setup, which we'll probably be visiting from time to time to stock up on supplies. So as you can see, I need to get up a little bit higher. Let's go up this ladder here, and just run along here. I love the ladders on everything. What you can see here is this is a spaghetti junction mess. You can kind of see where I want to sort of clean it up a little bit by using these pass-through walls. Both of these sort of sections are unlocked with coupons. But yeah, as you can see, it's a complete mess, and all the systems are shut down because nothing's really working. So what I need to do is I need to start tearing all of these systems out, rerouting them, and just making it a little bit more logical. It's a complete mess. So let's sort of start sorting this out. Unfortunately, this is going to it's going to be a bit of a pain to restart all of this. So I've kind of got to go a little bit slower so that I can use the power from this system to jumpstart these and then, you know, if I can get the power rerunning here, then I can power everything else. So let's just clean all of this up here. So I want to leave at least one coal generator untouched for the moment, because I need to get the use it to get the entire system up and running again. Right, let's just get some. Of course, I've run out of them. Okay. Well, I've taken up some of this. So, what? Oh, no, these are the supports. Here we go. Right. So we want it to have another. Oh no, because I've run out of. What did that place? I don't know. I don't have the concrete to do it. Okay, I need to run back for concrete and some plates and get that going. This is just a sort of a small supply run, so I'm just going to use this one. All of this needs to come out. I'm not completely certain how I'm going to do it yet, but all of it needs to come out and reworked, because the new system's an awful lot better than the old one. So yeah, this all needs to be reworked. Might rework it to be like like for the steel production, because the steel production is soon. We'll have that hopefully this episode, actually, because I've had the modular frames running on a different sort of bodged together system, so we might have the modular frames this episode, and then we can start looking at steel, which would be nice. Let me just make my life a little easier. There we go. But yeah, so, well, you know, we can just talk about the forums as well, because the forums have been quite interesting. Been quite a lot of since it was actually released and people can actually start playing it. There seems to be an awful lot of sort of, well, conversation. You know, all conversation is good conversation as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of just weird stuff, like the whole EOS business of people saying, "Oh, well, I don't want to have EOS on the computer, but I want to play multiplayer." Well, okay, how do you do that then without EOS? Well, you don't. An awful lot of people. Well, I say an awful lot of people. There is a vocal minority of people on the forums that are so anti Epic that they have to limit the game from talking to the Epic store, and yet they're still buying a game that ultimately it runs on. All runs on Unreal. So I don't understand it, honestly. It's just weird. It is just weird as far as I'm concerned. Cause it's people that have such a deep distrust of Epic because of this, you know, Chinese connection that doesn't actually exist. Yes, they have a stake in Epic. It's a 40% stake, and actually something that I didn't know. Tencent isn't actually owned by the Chinese. It's actually owned by the the South Africans. So yeah, it's like the majority stake is the stake, 30% stake, and although they have close ties with the Chinese, actually it's owned by the South Africans. So yeah, that was fun finding that one out. Right, okay. What can I get the system running? To the point where we have I'm just going to bodge that into there so that I can get the water running. And so in organisation we need to put in our conveyor splitter. So it's going to go there. The main system's all shut off now. Right, so I could probably take out this coal system. So I'm very quickly going to reroute it over the top. So we do that. Put in the wall. Put in the conveyor. And then how am I doing this? So each two. Right. And then I really need my blade runners. So that's the coal line put in. So as you can see, it's kind of don't be afraid to bodge things in. Ultimately, in this game, Factorio is a little bit more unforgiving, I think, with bodging things in. It punishes you by basically saying, okay, now you've got to run and you've got to do all this sort of thing. And there's a certain amount of this in this as well, but I do think it is far more forgiving, with sort of quick repairs, as it were. Just add that one in for the future. Take out all of this mess. And that one. So pipeline goes in there. Let's get our junction cross in there. Conveyor lift. Oh, damn it. Let me just run around the other side. Again, I need my blade runners and I can jump higher, but that's a soon thing, certainly. That goes up there. We fill in that hole that I've left for myself and put in the... I need to get it all running down there, really, but oh well. It's fine. That's looking a lot better. It's looking a lot cleaner. I've just got to do... rewire this bit. So we have a pipeline cross in there and a pipeline cross in there. This is why I've got little paths in, just because if I'm not wearing my blade runners I can't jump over that pipe. So well, I can sort of do it, but it's not great. Okay, so that's all getting power. these need to come out now. Let's take that one out. Let's also take that one out and this one out. Just wire that directly into there because this one is operational now. There's a little bit of jankiness around here, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. It's not my favourite of things to have conveyors or pipes kind of clipping through the ground like that, but for the moment that's fine. I can sort of tweak that at a later date. So remove these out, get rid of this power pole. So find out what was in here. Some coal. I'll get back to that in a minute. Might be able to do, actually, if I do sort, yeah. I'm just sort of trying to, there we go. So I can get that one tidied up. And get coal generator in here. There, hold on. It needs to be going down the middle of this one here. And then put in that one. Generator, let's drop this one in here, overclock that, and I can get these last ones in. Don't really want that hanging over the edge, but we'll see what we, yeah, that's fine. Right, okay, we'll just build the last one, plug it in, and should be good to go. Right, oh god, maybe I should have hiked the pipes a bit, because walking around it is a bit of a pain at the moment. I need to get in here. I need to get into a place I can't actually get into at the moment because I don't have my blade runners yet. I have to run up the pipe thing. There we go. Right, okay. That's fine. We'll make do. So that goes in. Floor is too steep. Oh, yeah. Can I just move it over a little bit? It won't look quite as good. But, well, this area ultimately won't survive once I get fuel power. But for the moment, this will do. Right, so let's get all these out as well. Okay, this, oh god. Okay, we have power, I think we have power. I need to just do a little bit of reworks, but because I need to make sure that that one is powered wired into the main grid rather than into a water pump, but that goes into the water there, and that goes into that one. Excellent, water pumps are online. Power is online. Excellent. So, let us move on. Wait, what is that one not? Oh no, it is. It is. They're all... Hold on. What I should do is get some height, just make sure that they're all smoking. Which they are. Excellent. Yeah. Right. Okay. So that's that fixed. We've now got power, hopefully, across everything. It's a bit red. No, I think everything is actually going. Okay. I'll check this system up here because this is the new. This area is going to be the new iron production. So anything iron is going to be produced through this section over here. And yeah, so like plates and all that sort of thing will all be sort of going through here. So I've got something like 6 constructors all making plates, or they will be once I've finished wiring it all up. That's not something that I will do on stream because that's going to be a bit dull, I think. But I've got this sort of set up here. It's bodged in, but it sort of does the job. Hopefully that will be done. This is what I mean by bodged in. I was literally just running over and manually putting things in. But yeah, so we've got this. I had to ruin the roadway, unfortunately. What I'll do eventually is like put in a proper roadway somewhere around here. As the thing, people were asking for roads, and it's like, you've got roads, you've got platforms. You stick platforms in. Stick your factories over the top, wherever you possibly can, and yeah, job done. This area is going to be a little bit more tricky. I think it'll need some reworking here and there. It's fine for the moment. Anyway, all the plates just go into here. Yeah, and then this thing over here just makes me the things that I need, hopefully, to do basic steel production. That'll take me up to 42, so I need 8 more. Before I go, I'll just drop some rods in. And yeah, haven't found any more hard drives. Actually, that's the point. So the hard drive that I unlocked, I didn't say this, the hard drive I unlocked actually unlocked, okay, so I should go back to the beginning with hard drives. So hard drives are found in the little Dropbox things. Scan the hard drive in the MAM, and it produces one of 3 improvements to your systems, let's say. Got a lot of, oh no, there they are. Stand updated. So the one that I went for, so you can pick one of the 3. And the one I went for was the rotor one. So now, instead of making rotors with, I can't remember what it was before, screws and rods, I think it was. It's now copper sheets and screws. These are optional recipes, so you can go back to the other one if you want to. So it's copper sheets and screws, a few more screws and some copper sheets, and that makes 3 copper rotors as opposed to 1. So I get loads of rotors as a result, which is nice. And that's going to be useful going forward. I would have preferred, there's a screws one which is really good. And that's the one I would have preferred, but for now this is fine. Right, let's get rid of that stuff. I want to go for an explore, but I can't at the moment because I don't have that. I could get some of what I need to go exploring. It's things like, so, Caterium. I need these, basically. These are what I need. I can get those, theoretically. let's sort that one out, because I'm kind of tired of this very sort of slow run, and really, yeah, I will complain about not having Blade Runners until I get Blade Runners, because it changes the game so much. It speeds you up, it allows you to jump higher, run faster. My problem is that, so the Caterium is in two places that I've got access to at the moment. First is over there. It's a little bit of a pain. There's some fireflies guarding the Caterium vein, but I did find another one. Unfortunately, it's got boulders on top of it, so I can only use the manual, not the manual mining, the little auto miners, not the big drills, unfortunately, because I need to get rid of the boulders first. But I don't have that ability because I need the sulfur. I could do the sulfur thing. The sulfur isn't that far away, and I have this strange feeling there's a drop box nearby as well. That is tempting, because that would make this vein rather useful, because it's a pure vein. It's pure Caterium, so if I put a miner on there, I'll get an awful lot of stuff out. Well, we'll just quickly empty these. So I'm just using these at the moment. And manually putting it into here. It's not ideal, but it'll do. Right, Blade Runners I can't do until I need the modular frames. Right, fine. We'll get that sorted out. I'll run back, we'll grab the modular frames. Yeah. Well, modular frames need to go into steel production first, because there's an awful lot of very good stuff we can do with the smelteries later on. Including some alternative recipes that actually make construction of some things an awful lot easier. That would be my 8 frames I need, and while I'm here, that's for more rods. So let's go and get that sorted out. Because then also I think the next one I'm going to be doing is the vehicles, because I need a tractor, and then I can go exploring, and then I can actually set up the coal production properly, because I've got a plan for that. I've got a much better plan for what I've got here. I should know actually where all that iron is. There's about, I think it's like 8 or 9 impure veins. So if you want to set up iron production down there, that is actually a really good spot to do it. Yeah, the veins are not. They're not. None of them are normals or pures, but that's fine. You know, but there's like 8 or 9 of them in that small area, so you know, that's good. But let's send these off, and boom, off it goes, and we get steel production. So that unlocks the foundry, which is rather useful because it makes steel. And some other things as well later on. So at the moment, so right now, the only thing the foundry will make is steel, but later on we can use that for smelting copper and iron and other things with better recipes. Right, we need to do this one. Oh, we can't do that one yet, but yes, this, so that one, so we did coal power, so I did coal power, and that unlocks all the coal stuff. This one unlocks all the steel stuff, and then this one unlocks the tractors, which will be very useful, and it's not too bad on the on that, so I'll quickly get that sorted out. Yeah, so we've got them. I can get the others. That's fine. Might be able to send this off almost immediately if I can get the modular frames in 5 minutes. Probably not, because I've got to run over there and it's slow. This is why I need vehicles. This is why I need roads, actually. I need to build a road that connects these factories together, like a sort of a highway. There's an idea. I haven't actually built I've been so tempted to build a highway so many times, and I've never just got around to doing it. Partly because it's making it look good. I know, you know, people are fine with just sort of building their factories just above the terrain. I don't like it because it doesn't look like it's sort of melded in with the environments. Yeah, I can do it, but it doesn't look very nice. And I'm quite fickle when it comes to my factories. I like to have good looking factories, so like these sorts of things, they're tucked away into the corner, and when I get the like the doors, I'll actually put doors on them and windows so that you can see in and you can go in, but they're sort of very much off to the side. And I paint my walls sort of these these two-tone. I do two-tone walls because when you've just got orange walls, it just looks very blocky. So I like to cut the blockiness out of it and use sort of two-tone walls where possible. Why is this one going so slowly? Right, well, I may as well start hooking this stuff up, I guess. Hold on, what's my power consumption like? That would be more of a thing to check. At the moment, this is fine. But I could actually tear the plate one out up there, and the rods I'm not making anywhere else at the moment. Screws I am, so I've got a screw production yard up there. Screws would be better. Yeah, okay, we'll start harvesting some of the old systems out of here, because I don't need them to be doing things up here. I don't know. I mean, I could divert I could do that, actually. Come to think about it, instead of tearing out the system, just tweak it a bit. So I do still need screws. Yeah, that would be better. So I've just done a whole load of sort of quick things in my head, which involves a little bit of retweaking things, but mainly because I need to be making modular frames, and the current system just isn't working. But I can bodge things in, you know. So this system here, which is an absolute mess and needs to be reworked completely. God, how do I even start with? Oh, I need to get some height on the situation. Right, so, and I will work through my thinking in audible means at this point. So, what I've currently got here is this one does iron plates. It's still in the old system because this entire area here needs to be converted over into this orientation, not on that one. So everything needs to be taken up anyway and turned around a bit. But that's not going to support well with that cliff face. So what I want to do, I think, is move it all around by one. Retweak all of that mess so that I hike it up so that I've got my roadway in. I've got two very distinct factories here. I think I need to pull this out here, neaten this up so that I can. Yeah, I think where I go from here, I need to neaten this up first, so that I can then use this platform as a basis for something else. This needs to be a roadway. This does need to be the roadway, and this does need to kind of curl around here. That's obvious. So let's start with that. So the way that we do this, so this needs to be a wall. That needs to be a wall, and then that needs to be a conveyor. This needs to come out, and this needs to come out. And then the wall needs to come out over here. Is that going to be high enough? Yeah, that'll be high enough. That won't be, though. Need another wall. Then our foundation. Like that. And then we need our that one. And then that can just go to wherever that was going before. And I've fallen down here, so it's... And then that one goes around over there. Okay. While I'm down here, I'm also going to cut this line here, hike it up by 3. So I can move that and then do that, essentially. And then just sort of fill out. There. Right. Now, it's just a case of hooking those systems up properly. So this is going to go into a wall. That, and then that one can just go into there. Sorted. And then this one, similar type of thing. Conveyor belt, just sort of wall. Conveyor belt around here, and then into there. And then this side needs to come up to here. Right. This makes things a lot better. A lot cleaner. So I've now got much more of a roadway coming through here, which is good. Still got the problem with this, but this can be fixed in a slightly different way. If I raise up the conveyor by that, and then do the same here, it's a bit of cleanup. There you go. Yeah, and eventually I'll do the sort of two-tone walls all the way along here. And sort out the mess, the power grid. So just see if I've got any coupons. No, not yet. Okay, right, well the vehicular transport is ready to start having components put into it, so we'll do that. These need to come out. The biomass burners just need to come out now at this point. I don't need them. I'm quite happy to see the back of them. Okay. What I should have done while I was up there was grab the cabling so that I can. So I need a couple of stacks of that, and then do the rods. Go and grab the modular frames, and we'll kind of see where we are. I knew I forgot to have something to say. I forgot to have breakfast. I've got into the habit of having breakfast again, which means that I'm going to have to get out of the habit of having breakfast again. Oh, that's going to be a pain. I've been really enjoying this whole sort of working from home thing, because it's just a case of, okay, I want breakfast at 11 o'clock, I can just do that. I can't really do that at work because we don't have ovens. We have microwaves, but not ovens. Where was I? Running through the halls, that's what I was doing. So this one on the end here makes cable. Just grab 3 stacks, I always need more cable. And then the rods are over in this direction, over here. Yeah, I think what I'm probably going to have to do is hike all of this factory up. Yeah, and then move all of this out of the way a bit, or get it onto grid at least. Right, let's just quickly go and grab. Hopefully, all I need for this vehicular transport thing. Because that does unlock some very important things, which I'll be using sort of off camera basically later today, to set up the new coal system and find some more crates, and hopefully the one that I really want is the iron ingots to screws one, because that means you can tear out so many large portions of your base. Because you don't need to make rods into screws, so you don't have that step anymore. It's a much more efficient recipe. Doing my maths, I'm slightly short. I don't know how short, because math is not my strong point. Am I short? Might not actually be, thinking about it. I've got 14. I think I am slightly. It's 24. 22? As I said, maths is not my strong point. 22. 22 sounds right. I'm gonna guess 22. All I know is I think I'm slightly short. Yeah, 22. Right, so I'm 3 short. Fine. Let's run back. By the time I run back and then run back there, I should have the 25 I need. 3 more. I'd love to just get rid of all of this and build some proper roadways. And not have to run everywhere. Which means I will. Oh no, because I've got coal. Yeah, no, that's fine. So this is the cardio episode. Lots of me running around. Almost there. Getting a better modular frame one would be good as well. The recipe does make 2. I'd forgotten that. I think that's been changed from update 2, I think. That actually the recipes do now make multiple objects, which is nice. So just gets you going a little bit quicker than it used to. It's a nice balancing pass. Yeah. So one of the things that I did kind of very briefly pass over was the idea of not having a main line. Like in Factorio, you'll basically just throw a load of stuff onto belts, and then use filters basically to separate stuff off. This is the sort of filter that you do, where you have single items running into single containers. It's the easiest way of doing things, rather than having to rely on the programmable filters later on. And that's a lot later on. So certainly from how much I've played, using mainline systems just isn't feasible. So yeah, just something to consider. I find it's an awful lot better to do a main line in that you've got stacked conveyor belts. Either using the stackable conveyor poles, or do it like I've been doing with the walls, where things will pass through a wall, and then I'll use splitters to take those items off the conveyor belt, so you can have a line of machines that are all making the same thing, but you've got instead of having, in the case of the modular frames, for example, so instead of having one belt that's carrying both the plates and the rods to make the frames, instead you're using 2 stacked belts that pass at 90 degrees from the assembler, and then using the splitters and conveyors to pass them down into the machine. I think that works an awful lot better than trying to have a single belt for multiple items, just because then you're not going to get the same sort of parts per minute if you're using one belt for both items and then kind of trying to split them off into 2 avenues. Right, I think I've kind of reached the end of everything that I can really do, because the next one is this, which deals with an awful lot of things that don't quite have the ability to do yet. Well, I'll be researching the logistics one, because that will get me better storage containers, which would be great. And then we can really start sort of building up our factories a lot more from there. And certainly these conveyor belts are an awful lot better than even the Mark IIs. The Mark II conveyor belts I don't really use, because they're not that much of a... I'll use them to upgrade very specific systems, but I don't think they give as much of an advantage as when you get to Mark III and Mark IV and Mark V. So yeah, that's just something to sort of keep in mind. But there's an awful lot of good stuff that comes in Tier 4. In fact, I'm probably going to select that milestone to do next, because I need the Xenobasher for things. But anyway, I think I'm going to end this video here. So yeah, so just to reiterate what I said at the beginning, if you're interested in sub for sub, I'm not. And I will just be reporting your posts as spam from this moment on, if I get more of this sub for sub stuff. I'll be back at some point. I don't know when I feel like it, ultimately. I've taken the week off because I just need some time. But yeah, I might be back this week for some streamingness of Satisfactory, quite likely. So yeah, we'll see. But for now, I will say thank you very much for watching. I will